What's up YouTube, Saf here on Super Saf TV, and this is my full hands-on review of the Nokia Lumia 830. Now this is one of the most recent devices out from Nokia, and the last Nokia Windows device that I reviewed was the Nokia Lumia 925, so it has been quite some time. So let's see what's improved with the Windows operating system, and also let's see what this device has to offer in this full hands-on review. So starting off with the size, design and build, this does have quite a premium build. You've got a metal frame here and it's got a plastic back cover which is removable. Now that metal frame does make it look and also feel quite premium. There's lots of bright colours available which I'm not a huge fan of. I personally would go for the black, which looks most sleek I believe, but some people do like some bright colours. Now the back, because it's removable, you can replace it, so not a huge deal here. The edges are quite hard, so I would have preferred them to be a little bit more curved, which would have made it a little bit more comfortable to use. And also I wish that the camera placement was a little bit higher. In its current position, you do end up touching the camera lens quite a bit and leaving fingerprints on the camera lens. Now if you look at it compared to some other devices, you can see generally speaking they have camera lenses a little bit higher, so they don't come in your way when you're using the phone. Now this is just something small, it's just something personal that I found, not a huge deal really. In terms of the screen, you've got a 5-inch screen which has a 720p HD resolution, so that's 1280 by 720, 296 ppi pixel density, and the display is IPS LCD with clear black technology, so colors are very nice. Now the resolution isn't up there with some competitors, so you do only have 720p resolution on here, and it's just below 300 ppi pixel density, but it's not a big deal. It is quite nice still overall, and unless you're looking for pixels, you shouldn't find them. Now performance wise, you've got a quad-core 1.2 GHz Qualcomm Snapdragon 400 processor with the Adreno 305 GPU and 1GB of RAM. Now the specs do seem quite low, but the Windows interface isn't as demanding as other operating systems, so performance wise it is actually pretty good. It's quite nice and smooth. The one place that I did notice a little bit lag was when opening the camera app. It does take a few seconds for it to initiate compared to a lot of the other devices that I'm used to using, so that's just something to bear in mind. But generally speaking, the performance on this device is pretty good. Memory wise, you've got 16GB of internal storage, and this can be expanded via micro SD card up to 128GB, so that's great to see that you do have expandable storage on here, so you're not going to be stuck with the storage that you get on the smartphone. Now moving on to the cameras, starting off with the front-facing camera, it's only a 0.9 megapixel front-facing camera that's capable of filming 720p HD. Now this is nothing special, so it can take some decent selfies, but the quality isn't really too great. If you are somebody that's more into your selfies, then I would advise going for the selfie phone, the Nokia selfie phone, which has a much higher resolution, and that is the Nokia Lumia 735. Now the rear-facing camera is where they've definitely not made a cutback. You've got a 10 megapixel PureView camera here, which has optical image stabilization as well as ZEISS optics. Now I really did like the camera on the Lumia 830. Some great shots with lots of good detail. Video was also very nice, especially with the optical image stabilization. The autofocus in video wasn't as great as some of the devices that I've used, but it was still pretty good. I do think that one of the strong points is definitely the camera of this device. You've also got manual mode, which I did like, so you can select your shutter speed, your ISO, as well as your white balance and things to really get some nice shots. Now the operating system, you've got Windows Phone 8.1 on here. Now I've said this before, but I really do like the Windows interface. It's nice and clean. This tiled interface is something quite different. Transitions are very smooth, and it's definitely something a little bit fresh if you're coming from the icon based system on the Android and iOS platforms. Now with Windows 8 you do have some improvements here. So firstly, you've got notification toggles, which are definitely quite useful. This wasn't available before. You've also got a swipe keyboard now, so if you're using the device with one hand, it's going to be that much easier to type. You've also now got Cortana, which is your personal assistant on Windows Phone, so it's voice activated and you can ask it questions and things. I didn't find myself using this too much, but when I did use it, it did work pretty well. Now the usual problem with the Windows operating system has been the apps, or the lack of apps. It has improved a lot since the last time that I used it. You've got most of the popular apps on here. You've also got Instagram on here as well now. Although it is the beta version, it still works pretty well. But a lot of apps are still missing, so things like Snapchat, Facebook Pages Manager and things which I do use on a regular basis are not here, and also the Google apps. So you've not got an official Google Plus app, for example. I mean, for most people I think you're going to be okay, but if you're used to a lot of apps on Android and iOS, then I do think you're going to find yourself missing a few of these on the Nokia Lumia 830. Now looking at the battery, you've got a 2200 mAh battery which is removable, and there's also wireless charging built in. Now I couldn't test out the wireless charging because I don't have a wireless charger, but in terms of usage this was pretty good. It did get me through the full day on medium use. Now I do think it comes down to the Windows operating system, which is not as demanding as other operating systems, and it is quite light in terms of graphics and things. There's lots of blacks on here, which means that the screen doesn't have the light up there, but overall it does have pretty good battery life. Now finally, looking at the price, so SIM free you can pick this up for roughly about £300 in the UK, or around about $400 in the US off contract. Now this is just to see the value of the device, and it is coming in at that mid-range price point. So there we have it, the Nokia Lumia 830. Now overall I do think this is a really nice device, and the Windows operating system has definitely come a long way. It's still not up there in terms of apps compared to the likes of Android and iOS, but I would say it's comfortably number 3 when it comes to operating systems on smartphones. This device itself has one of the best builds at this price range. You've got a very premium build here, and if you're somebody that's new to smartphones, I think this is a really good option. If you're somebody who's a little bit bored of Android and iOS and wants something a bit fresh, something different in terms of an OS, then this is once again a great option. What do you think of the Nokia Lumia 830? Do drop me a comment below and let me know your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, as always, please do hit that thumbs up button for me. It really does help me out. And why not subscribe to the channel? I've got plenty more content coming up on here. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on Super Saf TV, and I'll see you next time. If you want to see more regular videos like this one, then be sure to hit the subscribe button, which will be below. If you're on a mobile device, it may be somewhere else. If you want to see my previous related video, then hit the link right here. If you want to stay in touch over Facebook, Twitter and Google+, then all of the addresses will be there somewhere, as well as direct links in the description below. Okay, if you're still watching, then that means you've not done one of those things, so, you know. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just gonna go downstairs. See. Okay. There isn't really a downstairs. Anyway, so yeah.